You're watching a segment of The Splash, Greater West Bloomfield's news magazine show.
I'm joined this week by UFO expert Bill Konkolesky. And Bill, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, sure.
So MUFON, tell me what that is.
MUFON is the world's largest UFO civilian research organization. MUFON stands for Mutual UFO Network.
And how long have you been involved?
Since 1993. I've been a member now for 26 years, and 15 of them have been as state director. We're an international organization. We're in 43 countries. We got over 3,500 members. Most of our footprint is within the United States. All the states have their own chapters, and we've been around since 1969, so we just celebrated our 50th anniversary.
Right. So tell me about what happened to you in 1989.
Okay. The thing that got me to contact MUFON in the first place, to even try to find out if there was anybody that investigated UFOs, it was me and two friends. We were in high school as seniors and parked in a car waiting for another friend to get off work. It was 9 p.m. and February, so it was quite dark already. And while we were sitting there waiting, this blue ball of light came over the car. It was about the size of a car itself, very bright blue, about the height of 2 telephone poles, I estimate, and then it just slowly drifted over the car. We all three saw it, and then when it disappeared, this white ball of light came and zigzagged all over the sky, really wildly, erratically, and then that disappeared, and then a red ball of light in the center of the sky grew and then shrank and then disappeared, and we didn't know who to tell. We all three saw the same exact thing, and it took a few years before, when I was just telling friends, hey, you know, this is something we saw, and a friend said, why don't you actually report it to a group that investigates UFOs? I'm like, oh.
And so you did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what came back after that?
It came back as anomalous. The opinion was the person that had looked into it, the investigator, said they weren't sure what it was that we saw. You know, our primary duty in MUFON is to identify what people are reporting to us, which we can anywhere between 80 to 95% of the time identify what people are seeing. And sometimes people are thankful, saying, oh, thanks, you know, it was good to know that that was an aircraft, or that it was a Perseids meteor shower at that time, or this or that it was a drone, it was a sky lantern, things like that. And then, other people just want the validation that what they saw was unusual. And then when we can't give that to them because we can identify it, then sometimes they're not happy. But there's always, again, that small percentage of things that we can identify. And then me being somebody who fell into that category, I was hungry for more. I wanted to hear other people's reports.
So what was so interesting about that is that you said you had gone to work the next day,
and
somebody else had seen it.
Yep.
So it wasn't just the three of you.
Yeah. In fact, went into work the next day. I went to the first coworker I found and said, hey, you'll never guess what I saw last night. And her response was, oh, did you see that UFO like our maintenance guy did?
So what part of Michigan were you in when that happened?
Sterling Heights.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that happened in Sterling Heights 2 years ago. And then these days, like you mentioned, drones are out there, aircraft, falling stars. So have the reports gone up since you've been involved with MUFON, or have they just kind of stayed the same as far as how many you get?
It's a tricky metric to track, admittedly. It was when we got our online reporting form really perfected that the number of sightings that we had jumped. And we think it was just due to ease of being able to report it. The internet has been very helpful, obviously, in visibility, so that level of visibility has drummed up the number of sightings. And right now, we have a situation where people want very quick things on their phone to be able to do.
Right.
I mean,
instant gratification?
Yeah, and so when it takes them several minutes to fill out a UFO report form, we think that the numbers have dropped just slightly because that people can't do 3 swipes on their phone to report a UFO. But really, seriously, if you're going to report a UFO, please do take the time to put in the data correctly, because we certainly need it. We keep it. We keep decades of data. All the reports that we have are anonymous, So, people don't have to worry about saying,
So-and-so saw UFO.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is that website? How can people do this?
The best place to go is MUFON.com and MUFON.com. If you want to report your sighting, go there. When you got 15 minutes, fill out the report form, and somebody will get back with you. Or also, if you're interested in investigating UFOs yourself, go to MUFON.com and find out how you can do that with us. And then our state chapter has regular meetings, and you can find our state chapter through MUFON.com, or just put in Michigan MUFON in Google.
So what do you say to someone who doesn't believe in UFOs?
Yeah, it's understandable. They have that luxury of disbelief because they haven't seen it themselves, and you're really asking somebody to really reevaluate their whole way of thinking of everything, including areas like religion or just one's place in the universe, that we're the top dogs on the planet and therefore we're probably the top, that sort of just ego of believing that we're at the top of the food chain, and then you find out that there's others out there somewhere in space that are more technologically advanced than us and probably have their act better put together than we do. And so, you can't just say to somebody, hey, I saw this UFO, believe me, because really what you're telling them is, asking of them is, hey, reevaluate everything for me just so I can tell you this story.
Unless, of course, somebody says, oh, so did I.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then you have a kinship.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much. Anything that you would like to add? You do have kids, and I'm just curious, do they have any idea about UFOs, or have they ever seen anything that they've told you about? Or
Well, certainly I don't like to share things about family. I'm out there publicly, and
right.
they know I do space talks, and so then they seem to be quite proud of me, and
as they should be.
And then hopefully by the time that they're adults, there's real disclosure from the government, and it'll be a brave new world.
Okay, well, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it, and so interesting because you do hear people throughout life say, "I think I saw something weird last night," and again, you maybe shrug it off, or you just go, "Okay, sure," and keep walking, right? So thank you, and again, we have been joined by UFO expert Bill Konkolesky.
Thanks for watching this segment of The Splash. To watch the entire show or other segments, catch us on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99. Or look us up online at thesplash.tv and listen to us every week on 89.3 WBLD, the all-new Lakes FM.